Have you noticed that your marriage feels more exhausted than alive lately? Like all your energies go into work and the kids and stress and responsibilities, and your spouse is getting a little of what's left over. And then over time, without realizing it, you stop emotionally connecting. You stop pursuing each other. You stop praying together. And slowly your marriage starts to feel more like survival than connection. So in this video, I want to help you identify signs that your marriage is running on empty. And more importantly, how to begin to reset before the connection grows even deeper. So coming up in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 biggest reasons so many Christian marriages feel like they're running on empty right now. So first, we're going to talk about why so many couples have stopped emotionally connected and started functioning more like business partners, we'll say, than best friends. And then second, we're going to uncover how stress and exhaustion and nonstop responsibilities, which we all have, are quietly draining the emotional energy your marriage needs to stay healthy and life-giving. And then third, we're going to look at what happens when couples lose their shared spiritual connection and mission, and why that drift can leave even good marriages feeling empty. So right after we moved to this farm, I bought a 1984 F-150 truck that I absolutely love. The problem was when I bought it, the gas gauge, along with a lot of the other gauges, didn't work. So every time I drove it, I was basically guessing how much gas I had left in the tank. And I tried to estimate it in my head and hope that I could make it where I needed to go. Well, one day I pushed it too far. I was about 10 minutes from home when the truck finally just sputtered and died. It conked out. I had completely run out of gas. And I remember having to call Bonnie and ask her to bring me some gas so I could get back on the road. Well, needless to say, after that happened, I got the gas gauge fixed. And now wherever I go, I'm always paying attention to how much I have left in the tank. And honestly, I think a lot of marriages are living that exact same way right now. The warning lights are there. The couple stop paying attention to them though. They assume, oh, we're fine, we're just busy, until one day they realize they've emotionally run out of gas. See, most marriages don't run on empty just overnight. They drift there slowly. We've talked a lot about that on this channel. For a lot of couples, the first sign is that they've stopped emotionally connecting. They're still talking, but mostly about logistics, calendars, bills, kids' schedules, responsibilities, things like that. And before long, the marriage slowly drifts from relationship to management. And they're functioning more like business partners instead of best friends. And one of the things we see all the time in marriage coaching is that couples stop pursuing each other emotionally. They stop asking deeper questions. They stop slowing down long enough to really listen to each other. And they stop sharing what's happening in their hearts. And then over time, emotional intimacy starts just drying up. Does this sound familiar? See, a marriage can become incredibly efficient at managing tasks while also becoming emotionally disconnected. And a lot of couples don't even realize what's happening until they wake up one day feeling more like roommates than husband and wife. So the second reason so many marriages are running on empty is because stress is consuming all of their emotional energy. And honestly, many marriages are exhausted. They're not evil. They're just tired. Life's heavy for a lot of couples right now. Work pressure, parenting, financial stress, church responsibilities, aging parents, constant schedules, constant noise. Couples are carrying more emotionally than they were designed to carry. And what often happens is this: people give their best emotional energy everywhere else, all day long. And then their spouse gets whatever little is left over at the end of the day. So instead of being patient, connected, and emotionally available, the marriage becomes reactive. short-tempered, drained, and even just survival-oriented. They don't mean to disconnect. They're just tired. They're just depleted. And then there's the third issue. A lot of couples have lost their shared mission and spiritual connection. See, most couples begin marriage with vision and dreams and purpose and faith. They're pursuing God together. They're building something together. They see their marriage as something sacred. But slowly over the years, many couples just drift into maintenance mode. They've stopped praying. They've stopped pursuing God together. They stop having spiritual conversations. They stop living on mission. And eventually the marriage becomes more about surviving than building a life together with purpose. See, the truth is, a marriage without mission eventually just feels empty. Why? Because it was designed for more than just paying the bills and raising kids. But guys, look at me. Here's the good news. If marriages slowly drift, they can also reconnect intentionally. They can drift back. See, a reset usually doesn't begin with one giant moment. It begins with small intentional decisions. Here at the farm, we host Reset Intensives. They're 3-day, all-inclusive intensives to help couples do just this: learn those small intentional decisions and integrate them into their life. If you need one, go to themarriageadventure.com and you can find out more about them there. But maybe in your relationship, it's more about praying together again for 5 minutes before bed. Maybe it's putting the phone down and having one meaningful conversation each day. Maybe it's going to bed at the same time again instead of disconnecting every night. Maybe it's scheduling connection instead of assuming it'll just happen naturally. See, healthy marriages, they don't stay connected accidentally. They stay connected intentionally. But here's what I've learned after years of coaching couples. Eventually, every single marriage reaches a point where information alone isn't enough. Because sometimes couples know what they should do, but they still feel stuck and exhausted and disconnected and defeated. And that's why one of the most important things you can understand is how God's grace actually transforms a marriage from the inside out. So, if your marriage feels like it's been running on empty lately, I want you to watch this next video right here on how God's grace transforms a marriage. Because a reset for your marriage doesn't start with perfection. It starts with grace. So watch this video here. Or if you are interested in a marriage reset intensive, go to themarriageadventure.com and check us out. See you later.